Welcome in, Bears fans. We are here to talk about a player that I was higher on than most seem to be. His name is Gervon Dexter Sr., defensive tackle out of Florida. I'm not going to try to tell you that all his problems are, nothing and that you shouldn't worry about them, because there's stuff that he needs to clean up. But I'm going to try to explain to you guys why I was so high on him coming into the draft. It's pretty simple. He's just really damn strong. I mean, number 9 right here. That's who we're looking at. Guy's just a brick house. Let's jump in and just start watching. First, I just want to show how strong this guy is. He was starting right at whatever yard line this is, the one beyond this X, and he ends up upfield. It doesn't seem that way, but he does. He has gained a yard. Blockers have a really hard time pushing Dexter backwards. He gets chipped here even. See, he gets 1, 2, and then 73 here goes up to there. But to take on 2 guys at all and still be gaining yardage, I'm typically pretty impressed by that by a defensive tackle. Number 9 right here. He's going to get blocked by 73 here. And watch him just clear him off him and say, discard the block, move on. Doesn't make the play, but closes up the run gap. Right now, we see him play in a zero technique, so head-on-head with the center. This is against Alabama, so he gets the center and the right guard comboing on him. Now, the center's going to peel off here and start worrying about this guy, and that's when the right guard, Inaccurate, is in trouble. I think that he gets a bit of an assist here from this D lineman. I think he comes in and trips Accurate up a little. But still, to me, what I'm seeing is Dexter is a player that you can't ever trip against, because he will win if you trip against. If you lose your balance at all, he is gonna go push you down and move on. All right, so now that we've kind of displayed some of his strength, I want to show you some of his run defense when he's left one-on-one with a blocker. So right here, we got Dexter lined up in the 1 tech. He's just so in control of the block. When we look at this is one of the reasons he kept getting marked so well in my film. See, just look at the way he's controlling this block. Locked out. He just doesn't seem like he is being controlled by the blocker. It always seems like he's controlling the blocker. It allows him to just 2-gap here and come in on the play with number 1 and stuff the running back. Stuff like this, when you're the worst run defense in the NFL last year, arguably, getting a guy like Dexter in the middle of your D-line goes a long way to helping. This is a rep that just shows you what he's able to do, just one-on-one. It's nice, right? His get-off was just fine. See it again. Gets in, gets off. Never seems to have a problem discarding blockers. I'm impressed by that. Now let's see what this one looks like. That was even a 2-gapping rep. So balls out, gets off the snap into his man, extends him out, just in control of his guy. He's playing his right side, getting ready to rip back to the left to close up that run lane as soon as the running back decides it. He does it. And boom. That's a run stuff. Florida did play him all over the line. It was just mostly inside. Let's see how he performs out here at 5 tech. And that's Warren McClendon. That's a guy who got drafted. Let's give it another look. Gets into him. Controls him, tosses him. He discards of these blockers so easily when he decides to. Now, where I really fall in love with some of his tape is in the red zone. In the red zone as a run stuffer, this guy is one of the best in the country. I watched this tape in the red zone against Alabama, against Tennessee, and see him just consistently stuffing runs. Right here, playing the 2-eye technique. So off the snap, he absorbs that contact. He plants his feet and absorbs everything that is being thrown at him, and then just dishes it right back. Bends his guy in half, makes the tackle individually. Against Tennessee, we see him playing a 3 tech. Again, he just stands his guy up, and he's doing this stuff with what everyone is criticizing as a tall pad level, as maybe a slow first step. I'm not seeing it on that rep. I don't see a lot of reps where he's washed out or out leveraged despite his poor leverage, where it's not a double team. And he even stands up to a lot of double teams fairly well. We'll get to that in a little bit. Right over the guards, that's a 2-tech. Gets into his guy. Look at this guard's angle. He is just driving down on Dexter, and he's not moving him. He's given everything he has to drive this man, and he can't move him. And what does Dexter do as this guy's driving him? I mean, he gets his hands in his chest from a low position, so he punches up into his pads, and then just says, we're going over here, right? We're going into the running lane, and we're blocking this up. Like, that's some awesome power. Like, and it gives his teammates a chance to make the play. Even though Dexter falls off of it, it gives his linebackers a chance to get in and finish off the play, because he clogged it up with the guy who's trying to block him. Like, that's cool. That's just a cool play to me. We got him in the 1-tech here, where we figure he's going to play a lot of in the Matt Eberflus defense. This one was actually a pass play, so gets into his guy. You see, look, he locks out and is reading run, right? And he's peeking over the shoulder on the left side of the blocker, saying, I'm 2-gapping. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Which side do I have to be on? And then he sees, oh wait, the running back doesn't have the ball. I'm just going to discard this blocker, just throws him away, and goes after the quarterback. Like, that's a really nice rep, guys. And not that he doesn't have, to be clear, I want to make sure people are understanding what the upside is from my point of view, at least, and why I had him ranked so high on my board. Because I had him ranked at, I want to say it was 48. I had him right inside the top 50, and I thought it was good value where the Bears got him. Once again, in the 1-tech, I believe this is the last red zone play that we're going to look at. So, taking on the left guard there, and just one-on-one. At the college level, no one really could block this guy one-on-one, it seemed like. He required double teams. All right, now let's see what he can do to push the pocket. So right here, talking 3-tech. Ball's out. No one's really moved yet. You got that edge on the outside who's taking a bit of a step. Next, he's off. So he's pretty much off to the races. A tick slow, but not terrible. Gets into the center. So first contact, the center is that 2 hash mark. Let's see where he ends up. Pushes him back, what, 3-4 yards there in a matter of a second. This guy just generates some serious power. His ability to generate a push with poor leverage and poor get off is like, how is he doing this? He has to be so incredibly strong through his core, through his lower half, and especially in his upper half, the way that he just discards of blockers, just tosses them off of him. It's fun to watch. Like, when you really get down, or me at least, maybe I'm just a giant nerd, but it's fun to watch. Right here, we got him at nose. This is where his best pass rush actually is currently. If he is one-on-one as a 0-tech against the center, watch out, because he's just gonna push him straight backwards. Like, it's against Alabama. Ain't nobody he's pushing straight back into the quarterback. Like, that is a rep right there, guys. That is just, that's some grown man stuff right there. That gets me excited when I see a guy who can do that. So again, here looks like it's almost a 1-tech that we got Dexter in. Let's see. So it gets into the center, finds the outside edge pretty quickly, and then just works his way down across it. That's the athleticism, guys. That's where his RAS score shows out a little more. Like, that ability to just, he's not just trying to bowl him. He gets a little, shoves him a little to the side. Are both his feet off the ground right there? I think they might be. And then just gets a little lateral and works straight up to the quarterback. I mean, that's nice. Let's see how Tennessee does here. We got Dexter lined up directly over the guard, the 2-tech. There, I mean, you see some nice hand work. Just right off the snap. So a little slower than some of his teammates, but not terribly. Gets his hands right into the chest of the guard here. I think that's Jerome Carvin, who's now a Kansas City Chief, I think, when undrafted. And then just discards of him. Just rips him off of him. So here, let's watch it full speed. Throws him away, starts to work around, gets the running back. So starts to work around, which gets the running back's attention over in front of him. And lets other guys work one-on-one, and still Dexter ends up the closest to the quarterback by the end of the play. Might have gotten his hand up in to disrupt the pass lane. And then here we see him again playing like a 3-tech. So gets into 76. They're running a little stunt here, little up and under stunt. So you got the edge stunting around through, and Dexter's gonna swap back around here, and he bests Starnell right here, which is rare. Edge went up over Dexter, and Dexter comes back up around and just beats Darnell right around the edge. Once again, we got him at the 3-tech here. Get off looks okay. I mean, not the fastest, but gives a nice little shake. Shakes his head, shakes his hips a little, gets his hands in, and then just keeps working. All right, now we're going to take a look at Dexter's ability to take on double teams. This one, we see Dexter in the 1-tech here. 71's trying to take him on head on, and 55 wants to seal him off so the running back has a nice fat lane. But do they do that? They do, but the issue is 55 is so committed to getting to Dexter that he can't even offer a hand to help on number 9 or number 6 over here. So number 6 can just shoot through. 79 can't quite catch up to, can't get his feet up in front, and it blows up the whole play because they are so focused on making sure they wash Dexter out that it just makes a lot of opportunity for number 6 here. Number 6 blows it up. Number 11 cleans it up. Another one where we see Dex in a 1-tech. So this time we had 71 and the left guard trying to wash him downhill. Let's take a look at the impacts of that, because they fully commit. 71 and the left guard fully commit to taking on Dexter. Can you see that? So remember, his feet are on the first hash mark there. 2 guys. That's 600 pounds trying to move you. 600 pounds only moves him 1 yard right there. And then he, again, some finishing issues on the tape. He doesn't quite make the tackle, but he keeps his linebackers clean, and they clean it up for him. Like, because they have to commit both these guys to Dexter, it keeps 28 clean to come around here and clean up the play. The final part, the final thoughts, I'm just going to let some of his Kentucky tape run. Don't put too much weight into it. His Kentucky tape he looks like the best player in the country against Kentucky, because Kentucky's O-line is awful and just cannot handle his strength. So don't put too much weight on it. Take it with a grain of salt. With Dexter, I mean, I think we're getting a bit of a misunderstood player where, like, he was asked to do some read and react stuff at the line of scrimmage. He was asked to hold up the line to cover some wide run lanes, because he does have a big wingspan despite having short arms. His tackle width, or his ability to eat up a wide gap, is pretty good. It's more his length when getting into a blocker that's limited. But so he was asked to do that a lot, to eat up wide gaps, to keep the linebackers clean, to hold his ground and just kind of be a brick wall at times. So do I think that means that he's going to be twitchy 3-tech who you're going to want shooting gaps? No, I mean, I just don't see that as his role. Do I think he can be a nose tackle that is going to take the Bears, one of the worst run defenses in the NFL, make it a lot better for when he's on the field? Yes. Do I think he's going to be playing 60 snaps a game like he did in college? No. I mean, this is a player that I think is just a very high floor. At his worst, I think he's just a solid run-stuffing nose tackle. At his best, I think the athletic upside can go a long way. One of his primary comps off of relative athletic score is Kevin Williams, the Williams wall in Minnesota. The big difference is that 10-yard split. I'm not sure about this 1.7 number because every place else I look that is 1.81, which is a big difference from 1.7. It's tough to kind of gauge. And the other thing is the arm length. Kevin Williams did have, 33-inch arms. Dexter's at 32.25. It's really hard to find a good comp for Dexter. I looked at Grover Stewart because he was Matt Eberflus's guy in Indy. Arms were an inch longer, and 10-yard split was 0.08 faster, but everything else pretty much matches. And this 1.7 number, I sent a message to Kentley Platt over at Relative Athletics or try to figure that out, why he has 1.7 and everyone else has 1.81. I'm hoping I get an answer that is, optimistic. I see plenty of guys who can play the nose just fine with this 10-yard split. I don't see as many with that really poor arm length. Here we go, Jonathan Hankins at 33. Is that 3/4 of an inch going to make that big a difference? It might. I hope not, but I mean, it's that's more concerning to me than the 10-yard split because I think of Dexter as a nose tackle. The 10-yard split is not killer to me, but the arm length is the thing that I do worry about. But like I said, this is a player that I was high on coming into the draft. I'm still pretty high on, and I think has a high ceiling, high upside here because of the athleticism that he has. It's weird. He is a weird athlete, man. Like, his weight, I'm pretty sure he played around 320 to 330. I mean, he doesn't carry a lot of bad weight, but at the combine he was 310. At his pro day he bumped up to 320. So added 10 pounds in that short time. I'm betting he was playing 320 to 330. His 10-yard split is in the 20th percentile, but his 40 is in the 90th. Like, that is just bizarre. His wingspan is in like the 70th percentile, but his arm length is in the 20th. Again, it's weird. He is just a weird athlete to try to profile and project, which I think could be a good thing because he's rare. He's different than what a lot of the league has and has seen, and that could mean better versatility for him. But at the least, I still think he's a run-stuffing nose who can just sink his feet in the ground and say, try to move me, which is valuable. There is a lot of value in that from a run defense standpoint. But I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown of Gervon Dexter Sr., defensive tackle from Florida. Please make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you liked it, what you didn't like, what you would have liked to hear. And make sure to go check out my podcast, Shaving Points Podcast. You can find it at shaving-points.com or at pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts. And also go check out ontapsportsnet.com where I write about the Chicago Bears. And you can find me on Twitter at BuckisStats and also doing a Bears-centric podcast for Bears on Tap. Adios.